Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. The first book on this list is called Every Variable of Us. This book is a YA contemporary following a young black bisexual girl who's looking for a way out of the hood, and her route out includes a Hindu lesbian and STEM, which if you didn't know stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And since the main character is a former basketball player, STEM isn't usually her cup of tea. But anyway, this book is so good. It's so absolutely engaging and emotional and excellent. I really enjoyed it. I rated this book 5 stars because there's nothing that I would change about it. And it made me cry at least twice, and it also made me laugh out loud more than once. This book is so impeccable. So anyway, with all of that said, first of all, the characters were so well developed and so distinct. Second of all, the sapphic romance was so cute and it was so well developed. I really enjoyed the friends to lovers trope, and we love to see it. Third of all, the friendships in this book were so fluffy and they were so cute, and each character was so well developed and so distinct. Fourth of all, the plot was so intriguing and it was absolutely so engaging. This book is absolutely worth all of its hype and so much more. So with that said, I rated it 5 stars and I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Strange the Dreamer. This book is a YA fantasy following a young boy who's determined to find out what happened to the lost city of Weep, and the girl who may or may not have the answers that he needs. This book is so good. I ended up rating it 4 stars because I really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited to continue the series and read the sequel, which I believe I'll talk about in my next recent reads video. But anyway, the world building of the story is so good, and it's so detailed, and it's so meticulous and absolutely so engaging. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing and so well developed. The characters are so well developed and so distinct because I was so emotionally connected to them individually as well as them together, if that makes any sense. This book is so good and it's worth all the hype and so much more. Like I mentioned, I'm so excited to continue this series because the world building, the plot, the romance, the characters, everything about the story is so well developed and so well done. So anyway, I rated this book 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. So with that, I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Lakelore. This book is a YA magical realism following 2 non-binary neurodivergent characters who are drawn to a magical world underwater and must figure out how to keep their worlds above water intact while they're intrigued by the world underwater. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But anyway, I rated this book 3 stars, and honestly, it did not live up to my high expectations at all. I had really high expectations for this book because the author previously wrote the Mirror season last year, which was one of my favorites of 2021. So naturally, this book was on my March TBR, and it absolutely did not live up to those expectations at all. So basically, even though the world building was intriguing and it was exciting, it wasn't necessarily immersive. I wasn't really fully captivated by the story, and I kept waiting to fall completely in love in the story, and I never did. And also, the characters didn't really stand out to me. Don't get me wrong, I really appreciated that this author has such rich, awesome, diverse representation. Like I mentioned, the 2 main characters are both non-binary, and they're also both neurodivergent. One of them is dyslexic, and the other one has ADHD, so there's some great disability representation in this book, and we love to see it. However, the characters themselves didn't really stand out to me, so I didn't really care about their friendship dynamic or their romantic relationship or anything like that. You know what I mean? Even though the plot was intriguing, the world building was great and imaginative and everything, it wasn't necessarily very immersive. So I think that's mainly why I rated this book 3 stars and why it didn't really live up to my expectations. So anyway, with that said, I don't exactly recommend this book because I didn't really love it the way that I really wanted to. So anyway, yeah, like I mentioned, I rated this book 3 stars. The next book on this list is called A Far Wilder Magic. This book is a YA fantasy following a Jewish girl and a dyslexic boy who must work together in a mythical hunt using alchemy. This book is so good. I ended up rating it 4 stars, and it definitely lived up to my very high expectations, but not only that, it also exceeded them. I had very high expectations for this book because this author previously wrote Down Comes the Night last year, which I also rated 4 stars, but honestly, if I could, I would rate this book 4.5 stars because it was so atmospheric and it was so magical, and I really enjoyed it. Like, first of all, the plot was so intriguing and it was absolutely so thrilling and so captivating. Second of all, the world building was so atmospheric and it was so well done. The magic system was very easy to understand, which I really appreciate. The 2 characters are both so well developed and so distinct, and their romance is so cute and it's so angsty, and I really loved it. This book is absolutely so awesome when it comes to the plot, the world building, the characters, the romance, the friendship, the Jewish and dyslexia representation. This book is so well done, and like I mentioned, I rated it 4.5 stars, so with that I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least because I rated it 4 stars, is called One for All. For those who don't know, this book is a YA historical fiction retelling of the Three Musketeers, and it stars a main character with a chronic illness, specifically POTS. This book is so amazing and it's so well done, and it's definitely worth all its hype and so much more. So, first of all, the plot was so intriguing and it was absolutely so engaging. Second of all, the characters were so well developed and so distinct, and I was emotionally connected to the main character from the very beginning to the end. Even though we don't share exactly the same disabilities, I can definitely resonate with her internalized ableism. So we love to see it. Third of all, the world building was so wonderful and it was absolutely so lovely. The friendships and the camaraderie between the main character and all of her new friends was so lovely, and I really enjoyed it. I love girl power and sisterhood and friendships and girls with swords, and this book has all of those elements and develops each one of them so well. This book is absolutely worth all the hype and so much more. The only thing that I didn't completely fall in love with, I think, is that I wasn't fully captivated by the romance, but honestly, with the way it ended, I don't know if I was really supposed to be, if that makes any sense. But anyway, like I mentioned, the chronic illness representation was so lovely and it was so wonderful. This book is totally worth all its hype and so much more. So anyway, like I mentioned, I rated this book 4 stars. I apologize in advance that this review is completely all over the place. But anyway, I would definitely highly recommend this book. So, in conclusion, my favorite book on this list was definitely Every Variable of Us, and my least favorite book on this list was definitely Lakelore. So, honestly, I would recommend all the books on this list with the exception of Lakelore. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the butterfly emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!